Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time we have...
Georgiy Kachurin.
And what'd you do at the tournament?
I top aided the LCS with Dragoon Drytron.
Nice, nice. And do you want to give any shoutouts before we hop into the deck profile?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to my team, Team Malevolent. If you want to check us out at youtube.com/c/malevolentgamingtcg, we have a bunch of deck profiles and gameplay videos. And shout out to my testing partner, John Hamby. Both of us made top 8, so really proud of him for doing really well in the tournament.
Yeah, I also went over his deck profile if you want to check that out on the channel. I did mess up the audio on it, so it's not very great. But the audio should work in this one, and let's hop right into the deck profile. So we can go over like the main deck first.
Yeah, for sure. So it's just pretty standard ratios. It's 3 of each Drytron, except for Delta. I think 3 Gamma is pretty standard right now. It just really helps you play through a lot of disruption, helps you make either Mu Beta or Verte Anaconda. Followed by the 4 rituals. I opted not to play Natasha. Just never really came up in testing. A lot of times, like, you would search Natasha, like, going first, and then you wouldn't really, like, you would end up being discard fodder for ultimateness. And like going second, if you're up against a lot of disruptions, there's not a high chance you would be able to get, like, multiple Cyber Angels plus Natasha. Draconids was just the better ritual for that because it actually helps you play through Droll. If you open up 3 names, you can make Draconids as, a double pop, and then Fafnir as a spell and trap negate. So Draconids was a lot better, in my opinion. 3 Herald, 2 Eva. I know some Dragoon variants have been dropping Eva to 1, but a lot of times when I had the combo in my opening hand, I would try to conceal the fact that I was playing Dragoon. I know it's been a lot more popular lately, but I just decided to, like, try and conceal that information regardless. And so from their perspective, I was just playing the normal build that ended on ultimateness and double Eva. Then we have 3 Diviner, 3 Orange Light, the Dragoon package, and as for the spells, the only, like, true go second card that I had was TTT. I opted to play this because it's also good going first. I know a lot of people probably find this deck list to be controversial because it doesn't really have that many go second cards, but this deck is just so good at pushing through interruption. There were several matches where I played for like 3 to 4 negates and was still able to break their board. And so having TTT to, like, draw or peek their hand was just really, really powerful. And then 1 each of Meteonis, Fafnir, Pret, Red Eyes Fusion, Called and Foolish Burial for the main deck.
So one quick question. How was the Dragoon package over the weekend?
It was crazy. Like, before, I will admit that I was pretty skeptical about the package at first because I thought it was really redundant. A lot of times, like, if you are able to push through interruption and, like, full combo, like, you don't need Verte. Just, like, the IP in the ending board is, like, just as good. But I realized over testing that it solves a lot of the issues where a lot of times before 2 hand traps were able to stop it, like Cycle Reader Ash a lot of times just ended your turn, but now they have to have specifically Valor or Imperm to stop the Verte Anaconda, and you have 2 really good baits for those 2 cards, being Diviner and Mu Beta. And a lot of times, if the player is good and knows that you are on the Dragoon package, then they essentially just, like, can't afford to negate either of those cards. They have to save the strict, like, monster negation for your Verte Anaconda, and sometimes you just overload them on hand traps, and you would either full combo or you would end up making Dragoon and blowing up your opponent's board.
Yeah, that
So
sounds pretty
I thought
good.
it was a really good decision to include it.
Yeah, the Dragoon package has been crazy in this deck. Like, I've seen a lot of people testing it out, and just it's insane. Like, if you play versus like Tri Brigade, like, they double hand trap you, triple hand trap you, and you just end on Dragoon and you win anyways.
Yeah, like, I played against Virtual World, and I think that game I didn't even full combo either game. I just was able to, I was able to actually make Beatrice to send Eva to hold up Orange Light when I activated Verte, and then I was just able to blow up their board with Dragoon and go through and like they had a card by itself, but then you also have, you know, effect negation to back it up.
Yeah. Well, going on to the side deck.
Yeah, I opted to play. This is where I wanted to play like my high impact, just like blowout cards. Played 3 Nib, 3 Droll. I think these are the most high impact cards. They're the ones that I just want to end my opponent's turn, or at least like completely cripple their board so that they can't really kill me. Sometimes I knew that if I did not die during the battle phase and was given an extra turn, I could just swing back the game in my favor. If you saw a lot of replays, sometimes I would just let my opponent go to battle phase and like do damage to me and kill 1 or 2 of my monsters, but it didn't matter because I had just my grave fully loaded, and I was able to set up my board, break theirs, and win the game.
Yeah, the
so having like
follow-ups are insane.
Yeah, it's similar to Dragon Link last format where you know, they would put up negation and then you could break their board, but you couldn't really deal with how much gas they had.
Exactly.
I opted to play 2 Lancia. This is searchable off of Ben 10, so it wasn't like super necessary. It's mostly just against Tri-Brigade, and I kind of find that matchup easy in a way. Just because you can like bait Revolt and like 1 hand trap and then push through their board. And then I just had a crap ton of back row removal. I was anticipating like Prank Kids, specifically, and Lightning Storm was also for Tri-Brigade. I wanted the versatility of either destroying Appaloosa or destroying their back row, depending on what my hand necessitated that card to do. And then Red Reboot was mostly for Tri-Brigade Revolt, because you could prevent them from summoning Shureg, and then you can, you know, summon Phoenix or Unicorn Access Code, blow up their back row, and leave them on no follow-up. So ended up working out pretty well.
So, just wondering, did you test out Contact C? And if so, did you like it?
I kind of did. I just prefer like board breaking tools in a way. I know some people prepared for Contact C by playing like Ausa. So I just wanted like a hard stop, not something that like they can play around.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So going on to the extra deck.
Pretty much standard, minus the Dragoon package. Well, I guess the Dragoon package is becoming standard now. I did not play Chaos Ruler, and I opted to play Access Code over Boral Sword. That was one thing that I was like flipping back and forth literally the night before. But yeah, I think it ended up working pretty well. I feel like I summoned Access Code more times than I would have summoned Boral Sword, so I don't think I would have necessarily changed anything. There is some argument to not playing the second Herald of Arclight. It sometimes comes up. A lot of people are playing 4 ritual monsters now instead of 5. And some people are even siding out one of them, so you're only playing with 3. So sometimes like the second Herald doesn't really come up. But
So, is there anything that you would change about the list?
No, I was pretty happy with it. I went undefeated day 1, and I only lost to the other undefeated in round 7, and I finished 3rd after Swiss. So, and that was like losing half of my die rolls too. So I was pretty happy with how everything went. Had some great matches. So I don't think I would change anything. I guess one quick thing is like maybe if I wanted to have like super extra gas in the deck, I would try out the pre-prep package with Herald of Perfection. But I really like the fact that Ultimus can negate summons, specifically against Zeus. Some Tri-Brigade players are either maining the Zodiac package again or side decking them. I think it ended up working out better.
Yeah, I thought about that when I was theorizing the deck. That like the other Herald kind of just like the perfection kind of just like loses to a zoo normal or like baits out a whole bunch of negates at least.
Right.
But yeah, with all that being said, again, congrats on getting top 8 at the LCS, and I appreciate you for doing this deck profile interview with me. And with all that being said, the DB Grinder signing off. Peace. Have a nice day.